Welcome to Arcadiology, episode 12, featuring Bucky O'Hare. Join us as we uncover artifacts from the arcades. My name is Brad, my co-hosts are Sky.
Hey.
Kyle.
Saw dudes.
And Jordan.
Saw dudes.
Oh, you know what's saw, bro.
I stole
Wait
it.
a minute, didn't some other guy just say that word?
Nah, dude, that was just me. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh. All this time Kyle's been copying Jordan.
Yeah, dude. It's crazy.
Thought that sounded familiar. Anyway, it's been a little bit since I got to actually talk to you guys, because someone here canceled on our last game night, you know?
Yeah, I wonder who.
Ooh.
Not giving any names away.
Oh, I'll find it.
Skylar.
Oh, that was me.
I'll do it.
Oh, I forgot.
Throw him right under the bus.
I'll do it,
Oh,
man. What a quitter.
I'm sure I had a good reason. I mean, I
You
can't tell you what it
definitely
is now,
had.
but
You had the worst reason.
I probably had like a really good reason.
The worst reason. This man, everyone said that he was too sore to come over to game night. He was too sore to sit down in a chair.
I'd
what he
rather
said.
lay down.
You could have lied down. We could have figured it out.
Nah. I need to lay down, I need to relax, I have silence.
Yeah, game night gets pretty intense. I don't know if you would be able to make it.
Nah, we can take the games out to the living room and Sky can just kick his feet up on the couch.
Well, maybe while he wasn't at game night, maybe he was playing something else. Guy, you playing any other games?
Oh no, I'm still playing Dead Cells. That's
So
like
no,
the
he
only
didn't.
the only one I'm playing right now.
Skipping game night, no new game to even make up for it. Jeez.
Nope, Dead Cells is the one for me.
Some more Dead Cells. Did you get any further? Beat any more bosses?
Nope, I'm still stuck on. I think I'm on 4 boss cells now, and yeah, I'm like stuck there. I don't know, the game's so
Yeah,
freaking
it's
hard.
understandable. It's rough. What about you boys, Kyle, Jordan?
Nah, I haven't played anything new. I haven't really played much in the past week, but I do still like pop on YouTube and catch some new games and stuff that are kind of coming out. But one that I was going to bring up to you guys, because I don't really play these types of games, but it did look cool. But I know that you guys played, was it Vampire Survivors? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, that game
And
is cool.
you guys like those kind of games?
I enjoyed that one. I haven't played any other ones like it.
So there's one that I think is relatively new. I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but it's called Deep Rock Galactic Survivor.
I have not heard of that.
Oh, you guys
Yeah,
haven't
I'm
even
not
seen it.
sure.
You should. Okay, I'm bringing this up specifically for you guys because I knew you played the other one. But I think it's in that same like genre of game. You're these I don't know, these space like miner guys. And so like you start each round. There's like I think there's 4 different characters to pick from. You only have one to start. Classic. You play, unlock the other guys. But you go on like you land on these little planets, and you have to like mine some materials on these planets. But while you're mining things, swarms of enemies are coming at you, and it's like it seems like you get like levels pretty rapidly. And every time you get a level, you get 3 choices of upgrades, so you can kind of like build your characters out each stage and make them different. But I think I've not played that Vampire Survivors, but it is similar to that, right? Where it's like you kind of land in, like every time you like kill enemies, XP drops on the ground, you pick it up, get a level up, it gives you a couple different choices of upgrades. Is that in the same way it plays?
Kind of sounds exactly like it.
Yeah, I'm wondering, what do they do different?
I mean, I don't know. I haven't played the Vampire Survivors, but I think like the main difference is the fact that you're mining materials. Like, so there's like when you're on the stage, there's like open areas that you just like run through, but then there's like just kind of like rock, like rubble or whatever, and you can like mine through the rubble to get to like the minerals. So if you're like bottlenecking like enemies that are like coming towards you, and you kind of get like stuck, if there is like a mineable like wall next to you, you can start mining your way through it to like make a tunnel to like break into the next open area. So you're kind of like creating your own routes. So you're trying to like get away from the enemies, mine through the materials, collect like the gold and whatever, and then like I think there's 4 stages, and then like you do like the boss fight. But there's like little missions throughout, like kill these certain things, collect these certain things, whatever. And then you just kind of go through, you try to survive, you kill the enemies, get the XP. There's like a bunch of different builds you can do with each character, because you can kind of choose like when you get the choices, it's like maybe on this guy he kind of has like turrets, and so you can go for like a turret build if you get the right upgrades, or maybe you don't like the turrets, you want to like forego the turrets altogether and do like a flamethrower build. So you're trying to get upgrades for flamethrowers. So it's like you can play the same character but build them differently each time you play him.
It's the same concept where it's just like auto attacks, right? Like you just kind of walk around and you don't have to like physically press buttons to attack.
Yeah. I think for the most part, there's some have like some odd mechanics that you might not know right away. Like I think for the guy that does have the turrets, you like store charges of them, but if you're constantly moving, he won't put a turret down. You literally have to stop your character, like stop moving for like 0.5 seconds, and then it'll drop the turret. It's like you're not pressing anything to do it, but you have to like stop moving to drop a turret. But other than that, as far as like all the guns and whatever flamethrowers, whatever weapons these guys have, it's all pretty much automatic.
Yeah, that sounds pretty fun. This obviously sounds a lot like Vampire Survivors, but they got some their own unique mechanics to set it apart.
Yeah, I would look into it. If you guys, I know you guys like the other one, so I thought I'd bring this one up. It's Deep Rock Galactic Survivor.
Yeah, I'll definitely look into that one.
Is that on Steam?
I believe it's Steam, yeah.
You can get that up here. I'll check it out later.
What about you, Jordan? You done with Fire Emblem, or is that still got you held down?
So no, I've still been playing it, of course, but like not that actually for the first time in a while has not been the main game I've been doing lately. So I have been kind of, spending a little bit of time on just like simple things like Madden and Kakarot. I mean, I don't know if I've really talked about Kakarot on the podcast yet, but it's one of my absolute favorite games of all time, even though it's still relatively new. It's a game I've bought on three separate consoles now because I just love it so much. So I played that a bit, but one thing I did knock the dust off of here for the first time in a good while. I played a game that I have admittedly been paying for every month and just haven't been playing. But I opened up some OSRS for the first time in a while. Some old school RuneScape, man.
Oh man!
Wow, that's still going.
Oh, absolutely. That's never gonna go anywhere, man. It's
That's
never going
nuts.
anywhere. They have like the newer version of it, but people still play the old school one like crazy, man. It's the one I grew up on as a teenager, and it's the one I still enjoy playing. I've been a member forever, but like the way I've always kind of played OSRS the same way. Like I'll pay for my membership, but then I'll kind of just like I'll get myself sunk into it for maybe a few weeks at a time, and then not touch it again for months. And so I guess I'm kind of at that point again where I'm gonna sink some time into it for a few weeks.
Are you on your same account that you had whenever you first started?
Okay, so here's a fun story. No. And the reason for that is because, so I had my original account from back in the day, from like junior high school. That's when I started this account. And I started, I want to say maybe like 3 or 4 years ago, 3 to 5 or so. I started getting back into it again a good bit. And I was getting on that same account again. And there was a point in time where I was playing a lot, like for hours every day. And I was just more or less woodcutting because I just wanted to raise my woodcutting level for hours. And they banned my account because they thought I was macroing with it.
Oh no.
I sent in an appeal, and these motherfuckers had the gall to email me back and said, "We have proof that you were doing this, so you lost your appeal. You cannot have your account back." So that account that I had growing up is gone. I was so salty because I genuinely was playing the game myself. I don't macro, like that's not fun, but they wanted to try and say I was doing it, so they just banned that shit, dude.
I mean, it sounds like they did you a favor.
Nah, dude, nah.
You were chopping wood for hours a day, dude.
No, but like I was just wood cutting, so literally all I had to do was just like every maybe 5 minutes, just lean over and click one button and go back to just doing something else.
It's becoming too much, Jordan. You were neglecting your life. You were sitting there checking woodcutting.
Yeah.
What life? I don't do anything else. I don't do anything interesting.
You're outside. You're outside looking at trees, thinking you need to chop them down and stuff all the time.
He's waking up in cold sweats.
Do you remember that Fairly Odd Parents episode with like the must chop wood guy? Do you remember that? That's what you're making me think of.
I do not.
Oh man, I think it was like George Washington or something. Someone out there will know what I'm talking about.
No, my RuneScape experience was actually I was heading down the same path as you, dude. I was going on that dark road of chopping wood for hours at a time, and I just remember being it was like a low level, like I was still like fairly new to the game, and I was out doing the exact same thing. I was just chopping wood in the forest, trying to level up that skill, and out of nowhere, like it spawned a forest guardian.
You told us this, I remember.
Yeah, he just kind of appeared, and but I didn't really know what was happening. I was just chopping trees. All of a sudden, it was like forest guardian has appeared. He was just like there out of nowhere. I mean, this is like a foggy memory, so who knows? But he just kind of appeared and then just like one shot me, and I was just dead. And it was just like I was chopping too many trees. Like I was like, all right, dude, like,
no
I'm
combat.
just not playing this anymore.
Dude, how do we have the same exact story?
Did that happen to you?
That's the same thing that I did.
Yeah, dude. It was the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life.
That's the moment I quit also.
Yeah, I literally never played it again. I was like, I'm out.
I was like, dude, there's a game where there's like 5 million skills that you have to just brainlessly no-life it, and you can't even do that because you get killed for doing it. Like, how am I supposed to level up?
Well, sounds like I'm not missing out too much. I've never tried RuneScape.
Nah, it's a good time. It's a good time.
Yeah, I bet. More of a nostalgia thing, probably more than anything.
But the real question is, Jordan, do you have a party hat?
I do not have a party hat, no. I don't even know if they're as expensive as they used to be back in the day. I don't know how rare those are anymore. But no, I never had a party hat.
I mean, did they ever like re-release them?
I mean, I'd imagine.
If they never brought them back, I could only imagine they got more expensive. Or at least remained the same.
I feel like I don't know for sure, but I feel like they wouldn't re-release them just because that would kind of put a damper on how like popular they were, you know? I doubt it.
I guess I think they got to a point where it was like, I don't know, like, with everything like that, where it's like, oh, this is, super rare, it's worth this much, but then like it remains that way for so long that like people stop caring, and like so the price is still technically that amount, but no one's actually paid that amount for it in like 30 years, so like it's really not worth that amount.
Yeah, I never had one, but that's all right.
Well, I've also been playing a old game. I've been playing some Super Punch-Out. How about that one for you?
Wow.
Guys?
Okay.
Whoa.
Wow, dude.
That's something.
Yeah, dude, that's easily one of my favorite Super Nintendo games of all time. It holds up so good still. Super hard, still super fun. Have you guys ever beat Super Punch-Out?
No, absolutely not.
I don't think I beat it now. I might have got kind of far in it, but I definitely didn't beat it.
Yeah, it has 4 different circuits, and then each one has 4 different fighters in it. As a kid, I probably never even made it past like the second one, but right now I'm still haven't been able to beat it. But I'm on the final cup, and I'm stuck on the second guy. He's just so hard. I can't even like figure out his pattern.
Who's that guy?
I don't know his name. He's like let me think. He's like this old Chinese guy that has like a staff, and he hits you with. I never even seen these guys before, because I've never made it this far.
Is that the Dragon Chan guy, like the Bruce Lee dude, or no?
No, I beat him. That's the guy that like throws kicks at you and stuff, and you just gotta like go to the opposite. Yeah, I beat him. He wasn't too bad, but this is further past that. Yeah, I've never seen this guy before. I don't remember what his name was. But yeah, he's third from the last. So if I ever beat him, then there's 2 more after it till it's over.
Oh man.
Yeah, and I'm stuck on him. It's rough. So it's one of those games though that it's fair. You just gotta learn the pattern, figure out what to do, and you can beat it if you put enough reps in it.
Dude, there's people that beat those games blindfolded. Did you ever see that?
No, I can imagine, because I noticed some of the patterns. Like if you do the same thing every time, it seems like they always react the same exact way. So you could figure it out and just time everything.
Yeah, like their patterns, and I think it's all like people just memorize the timing of it, so they literally just sit there, don't look at the screen, and like some dude beat the game without even looking at it, just knowing the timing of everything.
That's insane. I can't imagine that.
Yeah, that's the next level there. I don't know about all that.
Well, that's pretty much it. Let's see what we know about our arcade game today then. You guys ready to move into it?
I'm ready.
Let's get moving.
Yep.
All right, let's talk about Bucky O'Hare. This was released in the arcades in 1992. The game kind of resembles a beat 'em up, kind of like the last 2 games we played, Ninja Turtles and D&D Tower of Doom. Like you generally move from left to right, and instead of just being on like one plane, you can kind of move up and down your screen as well, like how you would in a beat 'em up. But the biggest difference here is instead of melee, you have ranged, so each character has a gun. which I thought that was a pretty nice change of pace than just standard punching everyone. It was a little different. Have you guys ever played any other games like this? It's kind of like a beat 'em up, but you shoot instead of punch.
I don't think so, but I mean, in this game you actually shoot and punch.
Yeah, you're right. You can punch.
But it was mainly shooting. The punch was kind of like, if it happened, it happened.
Yeah.
I've thrown a lot of hammers in D&D. I know Kyle knows all about that.
Wait, do I?
You love the D&D hammers.
Oh no, this thing sucked.
No, I can't really think of anything else in specific that's super similar to this.
Yeah, I wouldn't really call it a running gun, but I wouldn't call it a beat 'em up either. It's kind of pretty unique for the style. Couldn't really pin anything down that's exactly like it. But the game is based on a cartoon series titled Bucky O'Hare and the Toad Wars. I thought the name sounded familiar, but I don't ever actually remember watching it. I was looking around. It's available on YouTube, so I did check out an episode to see what it was all about. It kind of reminded me of like Ninja Turtles, but almost like Star Fox because they're like in space, and it felt like a mix of those two. Have any of you guys Bucky O'Hare fans?
No, I'm in the same boat. I've definitely heard that name before, like playing it through, but yeah, I could never tell you if I've seen the show or anything.
So yeah, like I recognized the name Bucky O'Hare immediately, but I couldn't put an image to it. And then as soon as I turned this game on, I was like, oh my god, I 100% recognize this character. But I never watched the cartoon, but I absolutely recognized the character.
Yeah, I don't understand how I also heard of it and recognized it, but I've never seen anything about it. I just knew who Bucky O'Hare was.
Yep.
That's funny. All of us.
I don't know where I heard that guy from.
So all four of us are in the same boat there. We all kind of know of him, but we never actually watched it.
I know of him, but I have no idea what he's about. I don't know what he is.
Don't know what he's all about.
Which is kind of crazy because the TV show did not have that many episodes, but we'll get into that later.
I was ready to get into that right now, to be honest.
Ooh.
Don't say the number if you know, because that's something
Jordan's
that's going to be asked a
hitting
little
at
bit
some
later
trivia.
on.
I'm sorry, but it's a crucial part of the format here.
Ooh.
You just don't say the exact number. It's all I ask of you.
I already know where this is leading into.
I have to.
The number
He
of
says, "I have
episodes in
to."
the cartoon?
What do you think the rating's going to be out of, Jordan?
Yeah.
Wait. Why do you have to say the number of episodes in the cartoon?
What else do we rely on numbers for here?
What?
What else do we do with numbers on this show? Very specific thing at the end of the show where we have a number.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's what you
Yeah.
based the number on, really?
Yeah, it was slim pickings here.
I never would have thought of that. Okay, yeah, now I see where you're going with it. I thought you were just being a dick, like, yeah, I'm just going to say it anyway. I'm just
Gonna do it.
Jordan doesn't like it, so I'm definitely doing it.
Screw your trivia.
Oh, screw my trivia. All right, I'll either ask 2 questions or I'll see if I can think of something else real quick. No problem.
All right. Well, anyways, what's interesting here about this cartoon is it got canceled pretty quick. Actually, there were only 13 episodes.
Oh, man,
And then-
there it is.
And so then what they did was they made a game to kind of finish out the story. So the arcade takes place in the same world as the cartoon, I believe, at the events of the end of the cartoon. So they kind of use this as like closure for the show. So it's kind of a pretty cool idea that they used a game to like finish out the story since the show was canceled and they couldn't actually do it on air.
Yeah.
And there's like voice acting in some of the cutscenes, and they brought in like the actual actors from the cartoon for the game, so that was actually pretty cool too.
Oh, dude, speaking of the voice acting, I have to say right away, you know the duck?
Yeah.
What's his name? Daring Duck? I don't know what his name is. Something Duck. But as soon as I heard his voice, dude, I recognized it immediately. I don't know how much of it you watched, B, but you know Beast Wars.
Of course.
Rat Trap. That's the same exact voice actor as Rat Trap.
Okay. I didn't put that together, but I
Yeah,
can hear it now.
dude. You get a chance, check it out. That's the same actor. I looked it up, and it is the same guy.
Also, I mean, I have a question about this duck guy.
Okay.
Because I don't know how in detail you guys looked at these characters, but that duck has 4 arms.
He
Yes,
does.
And,
Yeah.
and 1 eyeball.
So what's going on with that, dude?
You know what that reminds me of? Do you remember on the Dreamcast, MDK?
Yeah, of course.
There's the dog, Max. It's a dog with 4 arms. He, hold 4 guns. That's what he reminded me of.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
I'm kind of disappointed though. He only held one gun and he had 4 arms.
Yeah, what's he doing with the rest of his arms?
Bro, I never had any idea what the hell this duck was saying, though. He was so aggressive when he spoke. And
He was.
said
Dude, I love
real
that
weird
voice,
stuff.
man.
Yeah, I like the graphics, and the game was pretty colorful. It looked pretty interesting. It almost felt like you were playing the cartoon, just the way they had like the cutscenes and like the voice acting.
Yeah, they went like extra mile with all the cutscenes and everything. Pretty cool.
Yeah, they were pretty basic, but they were still pretty cool.
Yeah, I think the voice acting was probably, it might have been like the most standoutish thing for me in this game. I don't know. So it's something about the voice acting that kind of like made you, if you try to think about it now, like try to like go back through the playing the game and like the cutscenes, like without the voice acting, you just have to read the things. Like I feel like the characters almost would mean kind of nothing to me, and I wouldn't really remember any of them. But since they had voice acting, it almost gave you like you know, like the characteristics of like, I felt like a little bit more connected to each character. Like when I heard like a voice, like I know what they sound like and I know kind of the way they talk.
Yeah, definitely gave him like more personality. Well, speaking of the characters, there are 4 different characters. There's Bucky O'Hare, Jenny, who is a cat, and the one you guys were talking about, Dead-Eyed Duck, which I'm sure you can't guess what animal he is.
Guess what animal?
And the last one is an android named Blinky. Who'd you guys play the game through as?
I only ever played as Bucky.
Only Bucky, just keeping it
Yep,
classic.
only Bucky. Yep, once I find a character, I kind of just stick with him. Although I will say, after rewatching somebody else play this game after I had finished it, I really feel like the duck was the way to go because his special attack looks absolutely busted. It just hits literally the entire area around him. I should have definitely tried him out.
Yeah, he was pretty solid.
So yeah, now I got a confession to make here real quick. I pulled a Kyle this episode. Okay. I did not know there were special attacks.
Oh, there it is.
Guess what? I pulled it myself too.
Because every character played like the same.
They did outside the special attack. They were all identical.
Yeah, I didn't know that was the thing. I got the jump button, the grenade button, the downward kick button. For some reason, I know I pushed like jump and attack at the same time before, but it never did anything, so I didn't think that was a thing. Maybe I didn't do the right timing or something, I don't know. But I literally didn't use any special, so when I did try to switch characters, they all felt the same anyway, so I just picked the duck. So yeah, I did not know there was a special.
Yeah, it's another one. It's just a matter of hitting attack and jump at the same time, which I didn't realize there was a special my first 2 times playing it. So it wasn't until my 3rd time that I figured out about the special attack and tried that out. And just like every other special attack, for some reason, I'm not always great at pressing the 2 buttons at the exact same time, and sometimes it'll jump on accident instead of doing the attack, which can kind of put me in a bad spot, but I guess overall it helps a little bit.
I think that's what happened to me. Like maybe I got the timing off wrong or something, and I was like, all right, that must not be a combo or something, so I just stopped doing it.
Yep.
Kyle, what about you? Who'd you use?
I played Blinky. I mean, I tried them all, like throughout the same playthrough. Like if I would get like sort of a game over, I would change characters to try the rest of them.
Oh yeah.
But I played all the characters. I played Blinky through most of it though, which is the robot guy, and then I also had no clue that there was a special attack until I like beat the game and then like went back through just the first level.
Sounds about right.
And then I found there was a special attack, and just I tried them all 4 again with their special attacks to see what they were, and definitely the duck by far had the best special.
Man, I was playing the best guy and I never even abused his powers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. I spammed that a lot. So what like Jordan kind of explained it, whenever you press the shoot and jump at the same time, it activates a special. For Dead-Eyed Duck, it has like these little spirals that just kind of like do like a whirlwind almost around the whole screen. You can get 2 of them out at a time, so you can really just kind of walk around and spam those. And a lot of the enemies die in 1 hit, so you just kind of keep hitting that. And a lot of the basic enemies just drop pretty quick.
It's so busted. I regret not using him. Bucky's special was really not all that great. It kind of just shot a laser straight forward that like exploded at the end, but the explosion wasn't even that big. And also, it looks like for the ducks, when his special attack is going off, you can still shoot, With Bucky's, I'm pretty sure you're frozen until that bomb goes off. So it really was not nearly as good.
Yeah, I agree. I did try Bucky at first, and I tried out his special. I was like, that kind of sucks. And then I went to the other ones and found out that I'd stuck was sweet.
Well, I'm just thinking because I didn't play like through the whole game with these specials. I just did the first level just to see what they all were after the fact. But I'm thinking, was Bucky's? I didn't really notice it was a laser. I thought he was like throwing a little grenade out and did like a little vortex at the end of it. But was that vortex thing like a multi-hit? So like would that have been really good for boss fights?
His special attack I think it hits twice against bosses.
Okay. I just remember like throwing it out and it did kind of stay there for a few seconds. So I was wondering if it was doing like multi-instance hits.
Yeah, it was for me.
Well, the other two characters we didn't really cover their specials. Jenny, the cat, she throws like this crescent energy beam, and it kind of homes onto enemies. That's kind of similar to Dead-Eyed Ducks, but I felt like his was better because it was more universal. You didn't have to have enemies on the screen. You could kind of just spam it and keep on going. And then the last one, the Blinky, the android, he has like a flamethrower. So when you do it, it just like constantly bursts out of flame pretty far in front of you too. So it's pretty nice because you can kind of rush in and enemies can't really get to you because it damages anyone that gets right in front of you. And it's constant damage too. It's not just like a one hit. It lasts a pretty long time too.
Yeah, it sits there for a few seconds. And, like you can fire your main gun the entire time as well.
Man, I wish I would have known that.
Yeah. Well, so just in general, you can shoot just by keep on pressing the button, or you can hold it in, but it shoots super slow, so you're better off usually just mashing it. Is that what you guys did as well?
Oh yeah, I mashed.
Yes. I hate when games are like that. It's like if you have it programmed in there that if I hold it in, it's slower, and if I mash it, it's faster. Just let me hold it in and be faster. Like, what are we doing?
I get it though. I guess just make you do.
Do you get it?
Not make
I
it
don't.
make it not too easy on you. I guess.
I think it was faster when you got the power up, though. I think it did rapid fire then if you held it. I noticed anyway. But like the normal pistol, just normal basic shots were really slow. You're better off mashing. But you get like a power up or two, you can actually just hold it in and it's pretty quick.
Yeah, does it only upgrade once? I grabbed 2 upgrades before I died, because once you die, you lose the upgrade. So I've gotten 2 at a time, but I don't know if it like stacks or if it's just a single use. Did any of you guys notice that?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Oh no.
Yeah, I couldn't tell like what level of power up I had.
I will say though that I didn't always lose my power up whenever I died. Sometimes I did and sometimes I didn't, and I don't really know what determined that.
Huh, I feel like I always did, so I'm not sure about that.
Every now and then I still had it.
I remember always losing. Well, were you dying like because you have like one life? So when you die, you go down to 0 lives, and then when you die, it's like you got a kind of game over thing. So like, are you doing like full game over and keeping it, or are you just talking about like losing your first life?
I don't remember for sure. Like definitely just like losing a first life. Yeah, I don't remember for sure about like losing your final life though. I still feel like I don't remember always losing it though, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I feel like I lost it no matter what, whether it was just a single life or a full game over. It was gone every time I respawned.
This game was pretty generous with the lives though, that continues.
Yeah, it was.
Like the couple times I died, I was like, why am I not using a credit here? And then I'd notice like you have multiple lives before you actually have to spend a credit. I was like, oh man, I got plenty of time.
I thought that too. I also thought the health bar was fairly generous too, because a lot of these games are more or less you get hit once or twice, you die. In this one, you actually have a full-on visible health bar that takes a decent amount of shots.
And you get health pickups too.
Yeah.
Generous, dude. I had those bombs left and right, and those things were powerful.
The bombs are sick. You know I love me a good crowd control bomb, man. Like always, I try to save them for the bosses, but every now and then you'll get swarmed. You throw that sucker out. It's always the most satisfying thing.
And they refill every time too, like when you just use a life. You don't even have to use like a credit to get more bombs.
Yeah, I think you'd get 2 of them each time you died.
Might have been 3, 2 or 3. But
Yeah,
either
I
way,
think
when
3 of them.
For me, it was always 2.
It's weird if you're playing. Were you playing the same game, Jordan?
I was playing the same game, man. I thought I even remember reading somewhere that it was 2, but I don't know, whatever.
You sure that wasn't RuneScape?
I do remember one point
no.
in time, like my first playthrough, I wasn't using them a whole lot, and I got to one of the boss fights, and I'm pretty sure I had like 10 of those damn things. Just spam against the boss. It was great.
Yeah, those are most of the items then. You can get additional bombs, You can get extra HP. You can upgrade your weapon, and if you have full HP and you get the extra HP pickup, it puts you up towards the next life. So that was actually super generous, like Scott was saying. But to get all the weapon pickups or the item upgrades and everything, that'll just occasionally, they're like specific spots throughout the game, but you don't really know till you get there. Occasionally, like a magic door will seem to appear out of nowhere, and then your little buddy Willie from the cartoon will help you out and toss you one of the items.
That kid seems so random. Like of course we don't know about Bucky O'Hare, but it's just like, all right, yeah, we got a rabbit, a cat, a duck, a robot, and a 12-year-old child.
Yeah, well, like I said, I did check out the first episode because I was curious what it was like, and I don't know the whole storyline, but they're off fighting or something, and he's doing some sort of project, and he opens up some portal into their world or something like that, or vice versa, and I don't know. He knows how to do stuff, so they bring him along. He can like repair stuff.
No, I thought he was going to be a playable character.
Yeah, he's just there to toss you items, I guess.
Yeah, I guess they don't like children with guns.
So what you're saying is you thought you could play with Willie.
Oh, God.
And the game had a total of 8 stages. In each stage, usually there's like a mini boss before the final boss of the stage. And then you had the main boss at the end. But I thought all the stages were actually pretty interesting. Either it's like the theme itself or like the actual gameplay of the stages varied a good bit. Did you guys have anything in particular on the stages you liked?
I will say there is one stage in particular that I really enjoyed and one that I really did not. The one I really liked was the mothership stage. And I think the main reason I liked that one is because you're flying in like a small personal vehicle, but the difference between this stage and the other ones is that vehicle does not turn backwards and face to the left. It only ever faces to the right. So you're always shooting and aiming forward. Every other stage, you can either look left or right, and enemies will come from both in front of you and behind you. And in this game, I don't know, it felt kind of weird sometimes having to turn around back and forth to shoot at the enemies each way, but this one was nice because you were only shooting forward that entire time. The stage that bothered me was stage 3, the climate converter stage, and that's the one where you're kind of just floating. You're flying around on maybe a jetpack or something, but it's a vertical scrolling stage. And that one was a big pain because now instead of just left or right, the enemies were just swarming the entire way around you, which is really annoying because you can't aim up or down. So that really got on my nerves.
Yeah, Dead-Eyed Duck's special really came in handy there. I could pretty much sit in the middle and spam it, and it kind of went around and hit everyone.
I bet.
Yeah, I'm sure that would have came in handy if I knew about it. Now, I don't think that level was that difficult anyway. Like the one where you're falling and they're just flying around you.
Yeah.
Honestly, I just looked to the left and I just spam left and they all circled into it eventually and got blown up.
I did really enjoy the mini boss. Actually, both the mini boss and the boss on that stage. So the mini boss kind of reminded me, if you guys have ever played Star Fox 64, kind of reminded me of the Andross fight at the very end because he's doing the exact same attack. He's sucking boulders in and then spitting them back out at you. So it reminded me of that. And then the boss, the Total Terror Toad, I just liked him because honestly, he was super, super easy. I didn't have to use a single bomb for him. His pattern was extremely predictable. It was a nice change just fighting a really easy boss whenever the stage right before that had my least favorite boss by far.
Yeah, I think the worst stages were definitely the ones where you had to be in the little carts. Like, I just don't like those stages. I like if you put one of those in every now and then in one of these games where it's just like for one stage, but there were like at least 2 stages where you were in this stupid thing. And I just hate the way you lose all kind of control and mobility. It's like Jordan said, you can only fire one way, and it just feels clunky. The jump was like a little bunny hop. You weren't really jumping over much. So like those stages they weren't like much harder. They were just annoying and like weren't that fun to play. But another thing I was confused is, on the space level where you're like jumping from space rock to space rock.
Yeah.
And you have to like rescue that mouse who's like trapped inside that electrical field.
Yeah.
Well, you like get to that guy, you rescue him. Like you gotta jump. You're in space first of all. You're flying around all those rocks. You're killing all these enemies. You rescue him from this thing, and he says, Thanks for the help. Let me return the favor. And then he plants a tree.
Yeah, I thought he was going to
Alright,
attack
dude.
the enemies with you, but I will say it's a little more than what he's saying. Obviously, like yeah, he's going around and planting trees, but just to give like an exact idea, it's more or less creating more platforms that you can walk across on the stage.
Yeah, but he wasn't making the platforms. He was making the grass that like connected the platforms, which you had already previously been jumping the entire time to get to him anyway.
Hey, some of those gaps were way too wide. All right.
That guy did nothing.
Yeah, but what about that
He
guy's
planted the
voice
tree.
though?
Yeah, he was not great.
Some of the voices are funny, man.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, I loved it.
Some of the voices weren't great in the game overall, but I did appreciate that it had voice acting.
It was kind of like watching a cartoon, like in between levels. It was actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
I'm actually, now that I'm thinking about it, dude, if I could go back and replay this game, I wouldn't even save, like, because you're kind of going around to all these planets of like different animals and like helping like rescue their planet from the toad invasion. But now that I think about it, I wouldn't help these mice ever again, because that guy says, let me help you out, plants a tree. And then when you like go to the planet and you rescue like the rodent king or whatever, dude, you like have to do the boss fight, and then he just comes out from behind this giant stone door and he says, you're welcome.
Wait, does he?
Dude, I swear. He come like I don't know what he thought he was doing back behind that door, but I kill the boss, dude, and he comes out and says, you're welcome.
I don't remember that.
You gotta go back and find it, dude.
Which boss was it against?
The cyber spider, which I hated him too.
Was it the
Cyborg,
yeah.
Cyborg spider. I hated fighting that spider, but it seemed like he had like unlimited HP, man. It took forever.
That guy took forever, dude.
He sucked.
I didn't mind him too much. I mostly played as Dead-Eyed Duck, but I did switch to the robot Blinky for his flamethrower for that particular battle, because you can activate the flamethrower and then you can kind of just stand in front of him. He doesn't really hit you until he starts like shooting those webs down, and the flamethrower also rips through those webs, so you can really just punish him whenever he tries to rush at you. And obviously you're shooting the whole time too, so you're just stacking damage on damage at him.
Yeah, well, Skylar and I didn't know we could do that.
I know, you guys are missing out.
I can't
Played the
believe
full
I
game
missed
without
that.
the specials.
Yeah, that was a pretty big part of it, I thought. For me, anyway.
I'm going back
Not
through
for you
this
guys.
game, man. I'm playing it again. I'm going to 1 credit this thing.
Oh,
Well,
man.
kill the spider and get the rodent king and see what he says, dude. Literally, his first word is, you are welcome.
Okay. Well, as always, I have it playing in the background, so whenever it gets to that point, I'll be sure to check
It's
that
at
out and see what it says.
23:37.
What if we're not watching the same one?
You are.
You can like stun lock the bosses too, which is kind of interesting. Just at least for a couple seconds before they do like their guaranteed move.
It does seem like you can only hit them like 3 times to stun them, and then they kind of just power through it no matter what. I will say, as far as bosses go, how did you guys feel about Toadborg? Because I hated that guy. He was by far my least favorite boss, and that was on like stage 2 as well, so it was nice and early.
Is that the one that grabs you and it's like seems like
Yes.
it's impossible to avoid?
Because his arm reaches out and grabs you, but it chases you around the screen, so it's very tough to avoid it. And then once again, if you get caught, it's another button masher to get out of it.
I thought that dude was easy.
Oh, get out of here.
I didn't lose too much on him, but I had a hard time avoiding his like extended arm.
Dude,
Yeah,
literally,
that was tough.
I stood in front of him the whole time. I get my guaranteed knockdowns on him, and then when he walked close to you and started swinging, literally you just jump in the air and you dodge it. You don't even have to move.
Yeah, but he'll do it like 3 or 4 times in a row sometimes too.
So I just jumped 3 times in a row.
Yeah.
You ain't always gonna time it perfectly.
Yeah, no, his arm was weird. Like it grabbed me the first couple times, and I was like, "Can I even get away from this?" But then, like, I kind of got the hang of it, and I was able to avoid it. But what I liked was when he did grab you, and this is like the first game I've ever seen do this, is when he did grab a hold of you, and you had to do like the button mash, like joystick, to get out of it. If you actually did it like fast enough, because like I could definitely tell, like, you know how some games you're like, you got a button mash and you're hitting it, like you're barely tapping it, and then you're hitting it as fast as you can, and it seems like it's kind of doing the same anyways, no matter how fast you tap it. Well, definitely the faster you did it, you could get out of it really quickly, and if you got out of it really quickly, you actually took no damage from the grab.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, so like most games, like when you get stuck in that animation, it's like you're immediately going to take like the initial damage, and then if you get out quickly, maybe you avoid kind of the aftermath damage. But in this one, if you just did it quick enough, you actually would take no damage from it. It was just annoying that he grabbed you.
Oh yeah. I also like how this button mash thing had a meter as opposed to just, oh, when is it going to let me go? There's actually a meter that you fill up by button mashing so you can see how close you are to getting out of it.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, this was like probably the best mechanic, the best way I've seen it implemented before.
Yeah, agree.
Yeah, because you actually know, because like we said in some of the other games, like we don't know if we're supposed to circle it, just go back and forth. This you can actually like watch the meter and be like, all right, this is working better than the way I was doing it last time, so you can actually benefit from it.
That kind of lets you like learn how to dodge that thing without actually getting punished for getting caught by it. It's like the first couple times he'd catch me with that, but I'd shake out of it real quick, and then I was like, all right, now I got the timing of it down, so I just started jumping when he would try to swing on me.
Yeah, you could kind of like learn the fight as you go without the penalty of like dying a bunch of times.
Yeah, it was definitely pretty fair, because most games they just want to kill you, and you just got to learn by putting more coins in it. This you could actually just figure it out on the go and not just constantly die.
You have to learn by getting a part-time job.
One of the other things we didn't really touch on was the jumping. Like, if you just press jump, obviously you just jump, but if you hold it in, your character floats down. So you have like a lot of control in the air, which I thought was super useful in some of the minor platforming, or there's like some of the hazards, like the lasers and flamethrowers on the ground. You can kind of just hold it in and float and like land down real nicely rather than just constantly running into stuff.
Yeah, the jumping was decent. I thought when I first started it, I kind of checked through the buttons real quick. I did the jump, and then I kind of like I pressed it once and I did a jump, and then I kind of like spammed the jump to see if like there was like a jump attack or whatever. And I noticed my guy would like he was kind of like stuttering through the air, and I thought like that something was wrong, and so I tried like the other characters, and like they all kind of had that same stutter jump. And then it wasn't until like halfway through the first level that I realized if you just like held it in, you would jump like your max height, and then you would like slowly float. But you could like spam it, and you would like stutter. I don't know if you had like more airtime, or I don't imagine it would be very useful, but it was a thing.
The floating was really nice, and I think the part where it came in the most handy was during the final boss fight. He was, for a final boss, the first 2 times I played against him, I had a hard time, but the third time I did it, he was super, super easy if you knew how to really float around him. That was always...
Yeah, I think the final boss was probably by far my favorite boss to fight.
Yeah, I guess, like I said, he kicked my butt those first 2, but then yeah, once I kind of realized you can just jump and float, and you kind of just jump to each side of the screen. Like he'll aim to the left, you jump, float over to the right, shoot him a few times, he'll turn around and just keep doing that over and over again. Makes it pretty easy.
The hardest part for me on him, like, because he has 3 phases. Once you defeat him, he kind of breaks down into something else. But on his first phase, like, because the screen, you can scroll pretty far. So you can walk the whole way to one side, and he's not even on the screen. The only thing was, I didn't know if I was actually hitting him, like, if the game registered, like, your bullets going the whole way off the screen or not. So I tried to keep him on the screen, which I ended up taking some damage that I was trying to avoid, but I didn't know if I was just shooting for no reason, like, off the edge of the map.
Yeah, I tried the same thing, and I was just doing it because I was like, maybe I'm hitting him, maybe not. But yeah, I had no way to tell if I was.
What since he has 3 different phases, what part of it do you guys think was the hardest? Like his initial one, or once you break him down, he turns into like a little, I don't know, looks like a little computer monitor, like an old school one, and he's just kind of spinning around in circles all over the ground.
Yeah, it was either the first or third were the hardest. Sorry, the second stage was very, very simple. Between the first and the third, I really don't know which one I would say was harder. I think the first stage, his attack was pretty tough to avoid, but the third stage, he goes so fast when he's almost dead.
Yeah, he's just spinning all over the place.
Yeah, he's going absolutely crazy. He's essentially just in his third stage, it's just his head, and it's just bouncing around the screen like the old like DVD logo used to do, back in the day on the TV. He's just bouncing around the screen like that, but at like freaking hyper speed. It'd be easy to avoid if he didn't also spit out these like little enemies that come after you too. Which, I mean, they don't come after you, they kind of just float around, but still, they're in the way.
Yeah, he caught me with that a couple times. Like, I know sometimes you can, if you shoot him, you can like you bounce him backwards and he like goes off in a different direction. I
Yeah.
guess there's like a cooldown on that, because I thought I could just keep bouncing him around and then he'd just run into me. So I think you can get him to change directions like every couple seconds when you shoot him, but you still got to jump around because sometimes he just comes right at you.
Yeah, it was like a little ping pong ball bouncing all over the place.
Yeah, I think that his first phase was the easiest one. His second phase was actually the one that I had the, like, I don't think it was hard, but out of the 3 phases, it was the one I had the most trouble with because I didn't know about any of the special attacks. So I had to like keep getting in front of the guy to shoot him. And like he would drop these like giant flaming logs down. And as you kind of had, if you were only using your main gun, you had like a pretty small window of attack. Like you could get in front of him real quick, hit him like once or twice, and then you had to like move, like wrap around to the other side to avoid the logs. So it's just kind of annoying because I didn't have the specials that are super useful on that phase. And then the third phase was, I think it was like a good mix of like semi-difficult, but it was also like probably the funnest phase out of the 3.
Yeah, I mostly save my bombs, like Sky was saying, for the third phase when he's bouncing all over the place. Whenever you can't bounce him back anymore and he's about to hit you, I would use one of the bombs because it gives you like a couple seconds of invulnerability while they go off. So it would help you like bridge that gap to whenever you can actually bounce him back again. So it was a pretty decent fight. Overall, for like a final boss, it wasn't extremely hard, but it wasn't like so easy that it wasn't fun. So I thought it was a pretty decent balance.
Mainly like endurance, because like he has so much health and he just constantly coming at you. You got to constantly jump around, shoot him, jump around, shoot him. Like it just takes a little while.
Yeah. Well, that's the end of the game there. I don't know if you guys have anything else you want to bring up about it.
I know Jordan said he didn't like the vehicle level. I think Kyle did too. I mean, the only reason I liked it,
I
liked
like
it because
Kyle did not.
Oh, you did? Okay.
I did, yeah.
It reminded me of Battletoads, because there's a level in Battletoads just like that, man. You ride little vehicles and stuff. You like kick each other off the vehicles and all that. I don't know. I thought it was cool.
I mean, this game does have toads.
Yeah.
That's true.
It was pretty much like a bumper car too. You could like bump into the enemies and it would damage them, and I don't think it damaged you. So it wasn't like an extremely difficult segment, I didn't think, because you could use that to your advantage.
I'll tell you, it's way better than the little vehicle, like very similar looking vehicle that you have to drive in the planet of the robot human lizard people.
Oh god, yeah, for sure. Way better. The control's much better than that.
Way better.
Now I'm like thinking about it now. When you go through, like, all the characters are like these different animals, and you're going to these different planets that are inhabited by these animals to like rescue them. But Willie was a human, and I don't think we went to planet Earth, did we?
Nope.
So what's going on with that?
Well, he comes through like a interdimensional door, like his closet somehow, and so he like gets transported into their world. So they don't ever actually go to Earth, I don't think.
Oh, so Earth's not even on the radar.
Nah,
That's what's
not
in my
who the toads
closet?
are after. Yeah.
Oh,
So Willie in your closet.
You might
Oh,
find
yeah,
a
dude.
Willy or a dead ass duck, one or the other.
Nobody look in my closet. Don't worry about what's in there.
Oh, one of the other things I wanted to just bring up, I think it was stage 7. It was like almost like a factory looking level, like a bunch of lasers. There's a ton of stage hazards, but I just thought the
Toadstar
one
stage.
section. What was that?
I was just saying it's the Toadstar stage.
Okay, yeah, like I really like the background on that one. It almost made for like an arcade game like this, and the one section it was like kind of moving. You could see out the window. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
I don't
I
recall.
don't think so.
Nah, you probably have to watch a video to see what I'm talking about. I thought the animation looked really cool. Like it almost looked like it was actually like, moving in the background, and you could see like the backdrop, and it looked like you were up really high. I just thought they did really good with that section. It looked really cool.
There was one part in that stage that there's these little stage hazard turrets that pop up. There's like fire stage hazards and lightning stage hazards and whatnot. There's this one part in that stage where there's a very small kind of like diagonal bridge that you have to go across. And this game, for some reason, thought that would be a great spot to put like 5 of those turrets, a few of the little mini turret enemies, and like 10 enemies running at you at the exact same time. And it was so overwhelming that I was just like, screw it. I'm just going to see if I can float over top of all of this and get past it, because it was way too much.
I think I remember what you're talking about, and I think I just said screw it and I used a bomb.
Yeah, it's late in the stage. I tried to get to the other side and then use a bomb if I had to, but I still got kind of beat up a bit. And then you have to fight Toadborg again as the mini boss, and I still hate him.
Yeah, this grappling arm.
Oh, one more thing about the Toadstar stage. So the first time I was playing this game, I have so when I use my controller, the website that I get these ROMs from, sometimes they'll let you play the game directly on the website, and this was one of the ones that let me do that. And I had my controller set to have for this is the first time I've done this. I had a save state and load state button up on the shoulders, and I just had a save state for the very beginning of the game, just so I could skip all like the introductory stuff. And near the very end of stage 7, my first playthrough, I accidentally bumped the save state button.
Oh.
It went the whole way back to the beginning and had to start over.
Oh no.
It was fine though, because my second playthrough I did significantly better, so it's whatever.
I would like to do another playthrough now after learning about these special attacks. I'm not happy with my token count.
And you gotta use the duck too, man. You know that he's the one to use.
Uh-huh.
All right, guys, you ready to move into the numbers?
Yep, let's do it.
Yes.
Think so.
All right, before we actually started off, though, I just want to let everyone know listening that I've been keeping a spreadsheet of all of our rankings, ratings, coin usage, all that good stuff. And there should be a link in the description here, so if you want to check it out, it's public. You can go to it and see where all of our ratings and stuff are. And also, like, the ranking list, because we're not going to be able to read off every single game now that the list is getting pretty long. So if you want to follow along or just see, like, where our current rankings are, you can just hop in there and take a look. And with all that being said, who wants to kick it off with how many credits they used to beat it?
I mean, I can go. I think I'm gonna have the worst. I'm assuming. Well, maybe me or Sky, because we didn't know we had the special abilities. But so I just did my usual one single playthrough, with half the buttons apparently, and I ended my run using 14 tokens.
Pretty solid.
All right, let me jump in. I feel like I'm probably the next worst here, so it took me 13 to get through it.
It took me 13 as well. So my second playthrough was 15, and I was like, okay, that's not too bad. And so when I figured out about the special attacks, that's when I was like, okay, let me try one more time, see how that does it. And that was pretty much right before we started recording. I finished that. I got to the final boss, that complex boss. I think I was at like 12 tokens spent or 13 or something, and I was fighting him so carefully because I was not willing to have a worse score now, and thankfully I managed to get through him easily. So yeah, it's 13 tokens for me as well.
Nicely done.
Thank you, my friend. You too.
Despite using all my spammy duck special move, I still took me 14 credits to beat it.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Me and Sky tied for first. Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, this is the most even game we've had.
Yeah,
I swear, I thought B was going to be like, 6 credits. Like, get out of here.
That's what me too, me too.
Man.
I was expecting B to go ham on this.
Yeah, sometimes I do, and did not happen this week, though.
It's weird, though, because, like, thinking about using the special move, and then the fact that, like, I caught on to the boss patterns, the first playthrough, you kind of catch on pretty fast. Like, I swear, like, a second playthrough, I should crush this game, like, spending less than, like, 10 or something. It wasn't, like, a super hard game, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think I kind of relied on trying to use that probably more than I should. So I'd kind of just be running around spamming that. I'd get myself killed probably when I could just shoot them. It would have been simpler, but I was like, I'm just going to spam this, and it's so OP, but I guess you got to kind of manage it a little better.
Yeah.
All right, so let's rate it. Unfortunately, Jordan, we already ruined your one trivia question, and this is why. With the game being so important from the cartoon, that's pretty much the whole reason for its existence, is to continue off of the cartoon. And it had 13 episodes, so that's why we're rating it out of 13.
I had a good time with this one, man. I really did. This was one of the only ones so far that after my first playthrough, I was not like, I'm going to have to do it again now. I was actually totally into doing it 2 or 3 times. Definitely one of the more fun ones we've done to me. Out of 13, I'm going to give it an 11, I think.
Nice, man.
Solid, yeah.
I mean, I'm going to hold mine till the end, I think.
All right, I'll just hop in then. I'm not too far off from Jordan. I gave it a 10 out of 13. I really like the style. Like I said before, it just feels like you're playing a cartoon, and voice acting. Even though, I mean, it was just like a product of its time. It was you can just hear the voice acting and be like, this is from the '90s, and almost like I never even watched this cartoon, like we said, but just from playing it and watching like the clips and stuff, I almost like felt like there was some nostalgia there just for the era. Like I don't know, it was something about it.
Yeah, that's about the same with me. I also give it a 10 out of 13.
All right, Bucky O'Hare.
Yeah, man, I think those cutscenes were so cool though. Like none of the other games we played had anything like that. And the fact that they got that Rat Trap voice actor, that took it up for me.
There's a
That,
bonus.
that
point
brought
for
my
you.
Beast Wars nostalgia, man. I had to do it.
It was a 9 if they didn't have that.
That's right. I got that whole extra point. My man Rat Trap.
Or if you had fewer arms.
Yeah, and some MDK vibes. So I don't know, it was pretty cool. It was like you said, playing through a cartoon. And now that we talked about it, I probably would have had more fun if I was spamming a special attack the whole game.
Try it again.
I will. I'm going to play through it again and see if I do a little bit better this time. But it was definitely a fun game, and I like the graphic style. Like, I'm always into those, whatever. It almost looks like pixel and hand-drawn almost. I don't know. It's kind of a weird style, but I like it.
Kyle, it leaves you.
It's either going to be really good or really bad, I feel like.
Well, I had a number in my head, and then after hearing you guys all go and kind of give your rating and your explanation, you did raise my number, but you've only raised it to about an 8.
Ooh.
Okay. Yeah.
You were not having a good time.
It was there's just, I don't know. Like I said before, I think honestly, like if you had to pick one thing that you were like, all right, what was the best thing about this game? For me, I think it was the voice acting, like the fact that was in there, because that's not in most of them, and I think it really added to it. But I don't know, the fact that all the characters, aside from the special, like they all did the exact same thing, like they all had the exact same guns, like everything was just kind of the same. Didn't really matter what character you picked, aside from the special, which like even some of the specials were kind of like mid. So it was like, I mean, clearly we just seen that 2 of us played using specials and 2 of us played without using specials, and we were within 1 token of each other.
Yeah.
So it's like they apparently weren't that big of a deal. I mean, I'm sure, you could min-max that a little bit, but I don't know. Everyone was like, all the characters were kind of the same. I don't know. You had like did anybody actually use the jump attack? Like
Not on purpose.
Yeah, I don't know. The jump attack seemed weird. It was like, sometimes I feel like I would use it and you'd like jump into danger. Like you might kill something, but you also like took a hit.
Absolutely.
Every
weird. Time.
Yeah.
And then just like none of the enemies in the game like stood out that much. Like they were all kind of fairly the same. Like you didn't treat any of them differently when you see them come on the screen. And it was like, I mean, most enemies died in one shot, which was just kind of like boring. I don't know. It was just a lot of, like, it just felt bland, I think, overall to me.
I think it's
Like,
fair.
some of the
that.
bosses were okay. Yeah, I don't know. There was nothing, like I said, the voice acting was like the biggest thing for me.
I mean, honestly, I think the biggest thing for me was, like, everything you're saying is pretty much true. Like, it was kind of generic. There's nothing interesting about the enemies. I think the fact that the levels were not insanely long, though, like, I was actually able to get through it and not feel annoyed. Like, all the levels are fairly short, I guess, so it didn't feel like it was dragging on. I was like, oh, I can't wait till this is over. Like, the levels are like, what's it take you, 2-3 minutes to get through a whole stage and kill the boss?
Yeah, it didn't take long, and like I said before, they were all pretty varied. The levels themselves, you got your standard left to right. You have some like elevator segments. You got moving up and down and up. There's a flying segment on a jetpack. The bumper car where you can fly through the air on that. So I thought they mixed up the stages a good bit, which helped.
I hated the parts where you had to move up and down.
The fact you weren't trudging through a level is like, 10, 15 minutes trying to beat a single level. You see the same thing over and over again. You get sick of it. It's a fairly quick game, so I didn't feel like I was like wasting my time on it.
Honestly, Kyle, his explanation almost makes me wonder if my rating's a little too high, but I'm not gonna change it. I'm still gonna keep it at an 11, but like, make some valid points.
My initial thought, like, I was about to go first, and like the initial number in my head was going to be like a 6, and then you guys kind of gave your points, and then it got me to a 7. Then by the end of it, you guys got me to an 8.
Wow.
I mean, as far as just straight gameplay, I don't think I would be as high on it. It's more of like the theme, the acting, the art style, just everything brought it together, which made most of my score, honestly. It was just straight gameplay. I'd probably be with you on that.
I think the whole, the fact that it was a beat 'em up, but you could actually keep your distance and shoot was really cool for me. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, it felt unique.
Like, it's a game I wouldn't mind playing through again. Like, I'm not dreading playing through it, you know what I mean? I'm like, oh, that's a pretty cool game. I could do it again, whatever.
Yeah, there were some games we've done, man, where you play it once and it was like, I don't ever want to touch this again.
Yeah, a couple of them.
Yeah, even if this isn't the most, you know, I mean, unique game as far as like mechanics or anything like that, it's still a fun game that I wouldn't mind playing through, unlike some of the other games we have.
And like, I'd be willing to give it a 9 if it weren't for that Rodent King.
Okay, so actually, I was waiting.
That knocked the whole point off.
I'm watching that part right now. I brought that up. So
You're welcome.
I mean, yeah, it's very weird because he very clearly just says you are welcome when he shows up. I'm assuming that it's just like a bad translation and it's trying to say like you are welcome here, like we welcome you here, but they just kind of worded it very poorly. Is the way I'm taking it.
Oh man,
It's a good thing I let you rescue me.
I couldn't believe it, dude. I couldn't believe it when I got to that point. I killed this spider boss, which again we said was like one of the longer bosses. He took like the most hits, and then he just comes out from behind his safe palace wall and just says, "You are welcome."
So he's out there all pompous, looking down his nose at you. You're welcome.
Yeah, we got most of our feelings out there on this, so let's find out where we want to put it in our official rankings. Anyone got a nice baseline of where they want to start it?
I could see it. No, go ahead, Jordan.
I was just gonna say my first thought was around number 5.
I was actually gonna go with that too.
What, above Mega Twins? Below
Yes.
Turtles?
That's my first thought.
Five or 6, I'm good with. I think it's around Megatwins or Mazinger.
I think I like Mazinger much better, but Kyle, how do you feel?
Okay, I'm trying to look through the list. I'm thinking like using that as a starting point from where you guys are trying to put it. If I'm just looking at Mega Twins, I think Mega Twins is better.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm looking now at like Mazinger Z over this. I mean, I think I would be okay either way with it either being above or below Mazinger.
I'm all about this being above Mega Twins.
Megatwins is the weirdo in here, man. He shouldn't even be up there.
Yeah, that's why I want to put it under Mazinger, because I just pretty much ignore Mega Twins because I don't think it should be up that high, and I like Mazinger better than this. That's kind of why I would put it down there.
I'm fine with Mazinger going above Mega Twins, and maybe then it's a debate of if this goes above or below Mazinger.
Me, Sky, and Jordan are on board with that. Kyle, how do you feel about Mega Twins and Mazinger? Do you like the way it is, or do you like Mazinger more?
I think in my personal opinion, Mega Twins is better. But I mean, I'm not gonna fight over if it goes up. If you want to swap those two.
What do you guys think? Should we do it or not? It's not a big deal. I mean, we don't have to do a whole re-ranking, but I thought if we were all mutual to easily make the swap, but if Kyle's kind of against it, we don't have to.
Well, we know how 3v1s go here, so
Yeah.
That's true. Let's just do it then.
Yeah. I don't care if it gets swapped. Just my personal opinion. I just think Mega Twins is better.
Like you don't have like a very like strong opinion on it, really.
Yeah.
So that puts Mazinger at 5 and Mega Twins at 6, but we still got to kind of figure out where Bucky goes here. I would still have Bucky above Mazinger personally, but that's just me.
I could go either way, above or below Mazinger, personally.
I'm more of a Mazinger guy. I'm not like so hard on. Just so hard on. I'm not.
You're not what?
I'm not so hard on Bucky O'Hare.
Is this a family show or not?
Sometimes depends. But yeah, I'm not like set in stone on that. It just personally, I like Mazinger better than Bucky O'Hare, but I'm not gonna like fight over putting it above or below it.
I could see Mazinger being better gameplay wise. That was a really cool shoot 'em up.
Straight gameplay, 100% Mazinger. But if you want to weigh in like the theme and like the cartoony stuff of it, like Bucky O'Hare, I guess has a little bit of a fight.
I think that's like the only fight he has, though.
That's true.
So, yeah, I could go either way with that.
I thought Bucky was way more fun, but
I did have a little bit more fun with this. I don't know. Where are you feeling at on this, Jordan?
we got Turtles at 4. Personally, I would do Bucky at 5, Mazinger 6. That's just me, though.
Think, Sky, you're in agreement with Jordan?
Maybe, I don't know. I could go either way, honestly.
Okay.
You guys sound hella close on this.
Yeah, it's just like I'm so close between like I almost don't care either way, but I'm going Bucky O'Hare over Maz.
I can settle with that. I personally would go the other way, but I'm not that crazy about it.
It's close for you.
Yeah, they're pretty interchangeable. I would just edge out to Mazinger over Bucky O'Hare.
You're edging now too. My God.
We gotta end this, dude. This guy's edging out. He's hard on for Bucky.
Got little willies in the closet.
Oh man, I don't know. Either above or below Mazinger. I can't decide.
Yeah, I say.
I feel like
I say
Mazinger
above.
clearly has a better gameplay. I would think, gameplay wise, but I don't know. This game does you have to consider all the other stuff. Like the cutscenes are a big part of this game. It's not gameplay itself, but it kind of makes the game stand out more than other games.
Yeah, it kind of gets the Ninja Turtles points there.
Yeah, kind of.
Even though it's something none of us really know, we feel like we know it, so it almost has the same effect.
We somehow know it. It's in the back of our brains somehow.
I would put it above Mazinger just because it's more unique with the kind of cutscenes and all that.
That's fine. I'm cool with that. We can just lock it in at 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Sounds
when
good.
you factor in it was a cartoon and they canceled it and they were like, I mean, they were like, you're not gonna cancel us. Like, we're gonna finish this out, but we're gonna make it into a video game and we're gonna get the voice actors, from the cartoon to finish the game. Like, I just feel they got a cool little backstory to it.
Yeah, you gotta give them some credit for all that.
These guys were fighting their hardest to get this as number 5 on Arcadiology, so
Yeah.
I feel like we got to do them justice, man.
That works. We'll lock it in. So we got Turtles at 4, Bucky O'Hare at 5, Mazinger at 6.
Mega Twins at 7. Don't forget.
Mega
we
Twins at
moved that
7.
too.
Yeah, we did. That's true. We did adjust it. All right, that's it, Jordan. You ready for some trivia?
I am always ready for some trivia, my friend, and I did manage to find a replacement question, so all good.
All right.
Let's hear him.
All right, boys, trivia for the week for Bucky O'Hare. So scores overall, Mr. Sky Wiggin is at 23. Second place is Brad at 18, who let me down last time, but that's okay. And we have Kyle at 16, bringing up the rear.
Whoa, hey. Get this
Oh,
guy
man,
out of here.
Another one? Oh, this episode is off the rails, boys. Let's just finish this up and go home. All right, question number 1. This was going to be the one about the episodes, but this is going to be the replacement one. I actually just found this question verbatim on some random Bucky O'Hare quiz, so I just copied it exactly word for word. Question number 1. Bucky's gunner, Deadeye Duck, originally belonged to a group of pirates. What was the name of this group? A. Quack Attack. B. Scurvy Space Scoundrels. C. Corsair Canards.
I'll go with B.
Okay.
I'm also going B.
I'm going to say C.
It is C. The Corsair Canards. I have never personally heard the word canards before. Have you guys? I don't know what that means. I assume it's duck-like of some
bird?
sort. It must be something like that. I've never heard it before. Anyway, not important. What is important is question number 2. What is the name of Bucky O'Hare's spaceship? A. The Righteous Indignation. B. The Noble Exasperation. C. The Virtuous Fury. You need me to repeat any? I know they're kind of long. I can repeat.
I'm going to say A.
Okay.
I'll go with C.
Okay.
I'm also leaning towards A.
All right. The correct answer is A. The Righteous Indignation.
What a name for a ship.
Yeah, so
That stood out to me when they said that. I was like, wow, that's a pretty crazy name. Awesome.
for the other 2 answers, I was like, what can I name these that they're not so different that these guys would be able to pick out the right one easily? So I legitimately just looked up synonyms for both righteous and indignation and just made up names based on that. So
Nice.
everything was pretty much the same. All right, final question. Nice and simple here. What year was the first Bucky O'Hare comic published? A. 1984. B. 1986. C. 1988.
Ah, jeez. I'm just going to go with 88.
Okay.
I'll take 86.
Alrighty.
And I'll take 84.
All right, Brad, you're going to be walking away with that one. It is A. 1984.
Let's
Nice.
go.
So no more perfect week for Sky. That one's over.
Nope.
I think he had weren't you perfect the last? No, maybe it was just the last one. But anyway, you got 2 right. Kyle and Brad each get 1. Sky is now at 25. Brad at 19. Mr. Kai Wiggin, you are at 17.
And hey, if you guys want, there's an after party on my ship, the Little Willie. If you want to come on over.
Oh, no, please.
I didn't name it. I bought it. It was already named. It's on the side. I couldn't pay to get it removed, so I don't know if you know how big a ship is, but it costs a lot to get a name tag removed off it, so.
I'm going to the Lads of the Past Crusade podcast instead, guys. I'm out of here. They're signing me. I'm a free agent now.
All right, let's close this one out then, guys. If everything goes as planned, we should have a special guest on our next episode, so that should be pretty fun. See how that goes.
I'm excited, man.
And the next game we'll be playing is Joe and Mac Returns. You can follow us on social media at Arcadiology, pretty much anywhere. And if you'd like to send us some feedback or ask some questions, I'll have a form in the description below. Or you can send emails to Arcadiologyquestions at gmail.com. Send in some questions or feedback, and we'd like to read it on the show. But that's all I got for today.
What's the deal with the Discord now? Is that just open to anyone to hop on in there?
Oh, yeah. I guess we can announce that, too. We did create a Discord. There's not much going on with it yet, but, it's got it set up, and me, you, Sky, and one of our other friends, Justin's in there. That's it so far.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was like a public thing that anyone could just hop in on and hang out or what, but...
Yep, it's public. I'll put that in the description as well, so it's easy to find.
Cool.
Hop in there if you want to communicate with us there. It'll be probably the easiest way to do it if you have a Discord. Well, that's all I got. You guys want to say goodbye?
Later, dudes.
Goodbye, my friends.
See ya.
Love you all.
That's a wrap, boys.